Danny Canadian, my guess is they purposely let R-Truth's contract lapse with a handshake agreement that they'll sign a new contract the week after he was let go in order to further whatever story they're cooking up there. So that's an interesting
Obviously, you've never
perspective.
been in pro wrestling.
There's no such thing as a handshake agreement, is there?
No, no.
All right, begs the question. Promoter you trusted the most. I didn't say entirely. I said the most.
Well, I mean, my situation with working for Turner was pretty bulletproof. I, I I didn't have to worry about what my payoff was if the other guy got more than me. You know, I knew what my check was going to be every 2 weeks.
Thus, the importance of the contracts, right? That was
Absolutely.
the silver
Which
bullet
which
put
which
through the
which
heart
which
of the
which
promoter.
which, which not would have been the case had I shook anybody's hand after fucking the curtain call.
All right, you could fire me, and then
Yeah,
what were you going to do in a week?
yeah,
Have your
listen.
word?
I'm gonna job to Taker Mania. Then I'm gonna job to Sean in Omaha. And then on a handshake, we'll come down here and we'll get this thing going.
So that's the money, though, we're talking about. Okay, that's the money. But what about promoters that said that they would do something, that they were going to? When I say promoters, what are we limited to in your career? We're limited to Vince, to Eric,
Well, I
to
think money. No, but I think
who
it's
was in
like anything.
WCW when you were Oz? Was
Who
that
was
Barnett?
who's in charge of money then? Ole was the booker.
Oh, he was Booker.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But my whole thing is this: if the if you get uh, a 7-figure guarantee, you're pretty much going to be used correctly.
Right.
You know.
It's a terrible. They're shitting on their own investment
Yeah,
if they
that's
don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're before they fuck that you know that situation up. And then on top of that, you've got to be verbal. I mean, you've got to be able
Hmm.
to play the game in the back. You got to be a politician.
So, all right. So once and for all, what does that mean? It can mean so many things, and people say it like an insult. Usually fans. People say it like a compliment. Usually people in the business that I'm talking to. They'd be like, "Well, oh, Kev was the consummate politician. He was a businessman." Or fans are like, "Yeah, he's a politician. That's why." What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me? It means you under. Number one, if I'm packing my bag and getting on an airplane and leaving my house for 23 to 24 to 25 days, whatever it is, and I'm being told where to go, I'm driving a couple hundred miles a night, and I'm bouncing around in a ring that's been fortified to make sure Yoko doesn't break the boards. If I'm not fucking smart enough, and it wasn't like it was some master plan. I was with Sean and I was with Scott, and that's who I traveled with at the beginning. And they were going to go with Scott and they were going to go with Sean. And then once uh, I came along, the drug test was a shoot, and as the guys got smaller, I was bigger. And I heard from a very reliable source that when we were at the Garden, Vince said, "Fucking look how big that motherfucker is, clean." So I knew I had a chance. I had an intangible that nobody else had. You can do all the arm drags and fucking flipty flops and all that shit, man. You can do them all day long. But man, you can't fucking teach a motherfucker to be 6'10".
Yeah. Well, you talk about your days in Ring of Honor with Gabe Sapolsky, obviously. When you
Yeah.
worked for him and you know those arm drags. How long were you in WWE when word got back to you that Vince was hot on you?
Um,
So pretty instant.
I worked. It was the first time I worked the Garden. We did a 6-man elimination tag. It was me, Bam Bam, and Sean. I forget who the guys we were, but I won the elimination tag, and I hadn't had many. Like I know that was the first time I worked in the Garden. I don't think people realize that I signed on June the 6th in 1993, and I was world champion November the 27th in 94.
Mm-hmm.
So
When you
18 months.
Mhm.
18 months from fucking walking in the door, I was the world champion.
Yeah.
And
When you were in the bodyguard role.
it sure as fuck wasn't because I was the whirling dervish
No. No one
fucking
will make that mistake.
with my 5 moves.
Um 6 if you count the squisher. Um
7 if you count me backing in and cashing my check.
I thought you were going to talk about backing into a patrolman's car.